Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to start building this project right here. This project will be using Next.js, TypeScript, Chakra UI for the front end, and will be fetching from an API. In case you haven't seen yet the project demo, you can go to my channel and see that video right here. This is the one with TypeScript, okay? This is the only one with TypeScript at the moment, so it shouldn't be that hard for you to find it. Just go ahead and watch this video if you want to see what this project is all about, okay? Okay, let's start building this. Of course, this is going to be a long project. Therefore, I will need to break this into several videos. Okay, I will try to keep this as organized and logical as possible. Okay, so let's start building this. Okay, we have everything that we need. This is the project. We don't need my channel anymore. Next.js, we need this, we need Chakra UI, and we'll need a temporary email. You don't have to use this, but you can. That's my suggestion for you. And the news API. Okay, so let's start this. Okay, new folder. Just forget this one. I'm gonna call new folder. I'm gonna call it live news. So I'm gonna call it live, and I'm gonna call it breaking news. Breaking news. There you go. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop this inside my Visual Studio Code text editor. You can use whatever text editor you like, but you know by now probably that Visual Studio Code is perhaps the best, if not at least one of the best, in my opinion. Anyways, there you go. Empty folder. What do we need to do now? We need to obviously grab our piece of code from the official documentation, this code right here, copy it, and we need to open the console and just paste it. Paste this inside the console, press enter. It's gonna start asking me stuff. What is your project name? I'm just gonna call it news. Boom. TypeScript, yes please. Aslint, yes please. Tailwind, no please. Would you like to use the source directory? No. App router, not for this one, for the future, but not for this one, so I'm gonna say no. Would you like to customize the default imports, blah blah blah? No, I want the standard ones. Okay, this should take us like just a minute or maybe less. Okay, in the meantime we can go and have a quick look here. This is what we need to do next. We need to copy this, and I have copied already, of course, and we could open a new window here inside the console, but I prefer to wait until this finishes so we can see what's going on here. I find it important for beginners, and this is a file that you always want to look at, package.json, so you know your script names, and so you can check what is installed or not, your dependencies. And because this isn't finished yet, I have no dependencies, but I will when we finish this Next.js installation and Chakra UI installation. Okay, there you go. As you can see, now we have this nice object for our dependencies, and we have TypeScript here, and we'll have Chakra UI. This has stopped. So now I need to cd change directory into my news folder. Cd news, boom. And now I'm just gonna paste what I just copied earlier. So I install Chakra and I will see it, I believe, here in this, inside this object, dependencies object. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. If not there, I will see it somewhere else, but I think it's inside the dependencies. This will take us a few more seconds. Let's just wait, relax, get ready mentally for what it's coming up. Okay, done. Boom, there you go, Chakra. Amazing, but this is not done. The installation it is, but we still have to go through this, which is importing our Chakra provider, finding our correct. So I go to pages, I go to app, this is the correct file, and all I have to do is like say import Chakra provider, so I can use it, of course. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this bit for a second. I'm gonna return an empty React fragment. Inside it, I'm gonna paste what I had cut it, and now I'm gonna say Chakra, I need you. So I'm gonna say Chakra, boom, boom. And now I need to wrap my Chakra around the entire content of my app. Okay, this should be good, okay, but how do you know if this is good or not? You don't. I mean, you assume that you know, but I prefer checking instead of assuming. I go to my root file index. I know something already. I do not need this file, this CSS file, so I'm gonna delete it right away. Boom, gone. I go to my root again, and I don't need it here because I have deleted it. I don't want that. Some nice visual separation between the head and the body. So this is the head and this is kind of the body, comparing to HTML markup. Okay, I'm just deleting everything inside my main tag because I don't need it, I don't like it. I'm just gonna delete everything, and I'm gonna open my heading. Of course it's red. We are using Chakra UI, which means for me to use this component I need to firstly import it right at the top. So I'm gonna say import. What do I want to import? Heading. From where? Oops. From where? There you go, Chakra. I do not need the image component for the moment, so I'm gonna just delete it. I like to keep my code as clean as possible, so it's easier to identify things when necessary. So my heading is H1. I believe the default is H2. I'm not really sure. Just check the documentation for that. And here I'm gonna say hello BBC News. Boom. Just silly. I'm so silly. Sorry. Okay, so now we can run the server because we haven't done that. So we are inside news folder and we can say npm run and the script name, which is dev, to run our development server. And there you go. Boom. And oh, of course, sorry, I'm using port 3000 because the project is running there, so we need to use 3001 instead, of course. Or we could do, just to save room, what I sometimes like to do, this is the project, I can just go here and say 3001, boom. Then I can always switch to 3000 if I need to check something. Okay, come on. My computer is a bit slow. I'm recording a video If you've done this before recording videos, you know that the computer gets slow. And it's quite slow, to be honest. Okay, coming up. Do not give up now. Woohoo! Hello, BBC News. So we know we can always inspect and double check the console for errors, which is actually a very good practice while developing. Okay, come on. Help me a bit. Console. And as you can see, there are no errors as expected. Super cool. Dope. Okay, let's go. So we do know that we have this. How do we know that this is working? So we can give this heading like a different text aligning, for example. So we are totally sure that this is working. I'm making this vertical so you see it. Hopefully this helps you. Okay. Okay, so I can say something like text align. There you go. But I do not want the brackets. I want the quotes, so I need to say center. Okay. There you go. It worked. Boom. So I now know that this class was applied, which tells me Chakra UI is up and running. I'm also gonna give it another class just for fun. So I'm gonna say color, and I'm gonna say red 500. Oops, not a comma, a dot, red 500. Be careful with the typos when you're writing class names. Sometimes you write a typo, you skip a word, or you double it, or whatever you do it, and then the class doesn't work, and it's frustrating. So always double check your class names when things go south and when they shouldn't. Okay, boom, it is working. No doubts about it. So first step is done. We successfully installed Next.js and Chakra UI, and we checked it's up and running. Almost 13 minutes after we have finished it. You know, I talk a lot. This is my style, this is my personality. I hope you guys like it. If not, I get it. Not everyone is the same. Anyways, let's keep moving on, shall we? Okay, so now what do we need? We have our files, our standard folders and files created by the Next.js installation. But I want to talk about a very specific file that we need for this project, and we'll need it for storing our private API key. Okay, so the thing is, I will be using an API key. I will show it to you. Normally you do not show this. This is meant to be a secret, but because this is just a tutorial, and because I will be creating a temporary email for this, and this is what I recommend you to do, I will share this with you. But you normally do not want to share this type of information with anyone. Even when you push things into GitHub, you should have what is it? Oh, there you go. So this file gets ignored by GitHub. So if you push your code into GitHub, you do not push this file or its content, because the file is not there in the first place, of course. So this is where you should put your sensitive data, like a API key, if this was a real project. Okay, enough talking. So let's go, and inside our folder we are going to create this amazing file called .env.local. Boom, there you go. And now all you have to do is to create your variable name, and I'm gonna call it like caps locks. I like it. Some people hate it. My .nv.local. Yeah, this is good. My API key. Boom. Let's leave it like this for the moment. Then you're gonna paste a string, which is a series of numbers and letters, to here. You can use quotes, or not. I won't be using it. No worries. So now that we have the file all ready, what do we need to do? We need to go and get our API key. But before that, what I'm suggesting you is this little dirty trick where you generate, there's an email that is temporary, that I do not use it for anything else, and I'm actually going to refresh the page, for example, to show it's loading. It's bringing up another temporary email for us, and I will be using this email. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to be using to register inside the news API. So get an API key. Boom. What is my first name? Oh, that's a mystery. So my first name is, what is my first name? I'm Mike. Oops. Mike. And my email, boom, is this one. What is my password? I don't care. I'm gonna type something. I'm not gonna use it again, to be honest. Anyways, sorry. I'm just getting the API key. So I'm an individual. I agree to the terms, and I'm not a robot. Let's see. Sometimes this is tricky. Oh, not this one. I'm gonna say submit. This button could be a bit better. Submit, and I should get a page. Oh, there you go. This is my API key. How amazing was this? This is all you have to do. Okay, then you go back to home. You go all happy to your .env file, and you paste it right here. And you can share it with the world because you don't really care, because this is just a funny, silly project. This is not real life. If this was real life, you'll never, ever, ever share this with anyone. Okay? This is actually why we are creating this .env.local file. Okay? Cool. So we have it all up and running. I believe that we can stop this video right here. And the next one, we will start creating like some other folders for the components, for the models, and we'll be exploring the news API, the way it's built, what we want to retrieve, because we do not want to retrieve everything from this. We basically have these articles, and we basically want to retrieve in this project like the author, title, description, URL to image, publish at, content, blah blah. Not all of this, but the majority. Let me just say this to you up front. Using this API, and I'm not really experienced using APIs, and you will probably tell this if you have more advanced skills than me and whatever. Sometimes, especially in some particular endpoints, this URL to image breaks, which means because one or two of the news does not contain a valid image for whatever reason, our app crashes. And that frustrated me a lot at the beginning. And then I Google it, and I tried to use other ways to go around the problem, and I don't think that worked in 100%. So I kind of made a mix, and between what I read, I kind of mixed stuff up, and I was able to create a project that I just showed you. Okay, it's working. Looks like if we are using the BBC endpoint, and that's the one that I'm using, it looks like it works. Okay, but for example, funny enough, I wanted to create a Donald Trump's news. I don't know why. When I use that endpoint, and you can give it a try after watching these videos, you will learn how easy it is to change endpoints. I was trying to do, like, instead of BBC News, I wanted like Donald Trump's news. But for some reason that endpoint had frequently images not displaying, which would break my app. Because if the image does not contain a valid URL, the app will not run. It will throw you an error, and you have two options. What I did originally was to create like a placeholder image for all, in all of them, instead of grabbing the URL to image. I just passed like an image that I had inside my images folder. But that was annoying because you want to see like the images, because images sometimes mean a lot. I'm looking at this guy's face. I already know who this guy is, of course. These days, of course, everyone pretty much knows who this guy is, and this is terrible with what's going on in Ukraine. But yeah, this is history repeating itself. I don't really believe that it will ever really finish. But we are not talking about politics or anything. I'm just going sideways here. Sorry for that. My point is, I like to have the correspondent image, because I think sometimes the images help us to pick the article, the news that we want to read. So, for example, yeah, whatever. So, my point is, if this breaks, my tip is just replace this URL to image with a placeholder image that you have hosted inside your images folder, and you should be fine. That's what I did actually in the other project that I did. Anyways, 22 minutes. As usual, I talk a lot, so sorry for that. Thanks for watching, and if you are enthusiastic about this project, just let me know in the comments. Just motivate me a bit. Okay, just tell me, okay, keep going, or whatever you want to say, as long as you feel like it's a valid and honest feedback that I should read. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you.